Hey friends, how are you doing? This is Mrs. No. I'm really excited to do our first art lesson together through this. It's very different, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the first project we're going to make is a cross on a canvas for Easter. Charlotte, my daughter, made this, and it's really fun and easy to make, and it helps us remember this week what Jesus has done for us. So I'm going to show you the supplies that you need to gather, and then we'll move forward and make this. So you're going to need your canvas, you're going to need your paints, you're going to need a paintbrush and your pencil, and you're going to need wax paper or aluminum foil or plastic plate or anything that has a hard surface and it's kind of shiny so that you can mix your paints. And then paper towel to wipe your brush. Oh, and also glass of water and clay. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to work out because it's my first time doing this, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the landscape. So if you look here, you're going to see this landscape, you're going to see the sun behind the cross and the rays coming out, including the sky, okay? So with your pencil, let's go ahead and draw a simple hill. And then we'll draw a sun, which isn't a full circle because we want to give it the impression that it's coming up behind the cross, but you don't have to do it this way. If you've got another idea of where you want your cross, you're welcome to draw whatever you want. But for instruction purposes, I'm just going to draw what the example that I showed you. So you can draw the rays on there. Okay. And that's it for the drawing. Okay. So go ahead and set your canvas aside and get your clay and just kind of feel it. And I would mold it. Just kind of mix it up like this. And one of the things that really is an easy way to make the cross is to make a snake. So I'm sure many of you know how to do this, but when we make a snake, we roll our dough or our clay. We roll it back and forth like this, kind of like a rolling pin. We're going to roll it. And really, you probably don't need to use all the clay. I would save the clay. I would only use half of it and save the other half for a different project you want to do. Because look how long this gets. And let me just give you an idea of how long that gets. It's way past the... So you can cut it right there. And what you're going to do is kind of put your clay on there and figure out what size you want your cross to be. And then cut another small piece here. Kind of push it together, okay? So go ahead and try to design your cross. And once you have it designed, set it aside. We're going to, or put the canvas away. And something that I like to use is like a thin edge. It could be a nail or a stick or something with a thin edge. And what you're going to do with that is kind of create wood grain on your cross. So you can even use your pencil to make the wood grain and just kind of give your cross some texture so it looks like the Rugged Cross. I don't know if you know that hymn, but it is one of my favorite hymns, On the Old Rugged Cross. So go ahead and we'll make that. Okay. All right, so that's starting to look like an old rugged cross. Now, we are going to let this dry, and it will take a couple days for this to dry. Once it dries, we will paint over it. So probably tomorrow it will be dry by then. Take your leftover clay and use saran wrap or a Ziploc bag and close it up tight. Make sure no air gets into it so that you can use this for another project, okay? All right. Now let's go back to our painting and we'll set aside the cross to dry. And let's go ahead and mix some colors for the grass or however you want to do it. So this particular paint, I gave each of you 2 of these because I know this is very small, but do try not to use too much because there is another project that's going to come with it. But so when you open up your lid, you'll see a sharp sort of point there. You're going to flip your lid upside down like this, and you're going to poke a hole in there. And sometimes that paint will come out really fast. So I wouldn't do it over the canvas in case you get it over your canvas. So squirt a little bit onto your wax paper or plate or whatever. And before I put the grass on, I would try to make brown. So since we already have orange and blue, let's go ahead and do that. So open it up. Ooh, it's coming up. So a little bit of red. Just close that lid back up so it doesn't dry. It might get a little messy. Hopefully your parents have smocks on you. And blue. Okay, then take your paintbrush. So we're gonna, actually this is red. So let's add a little bit of yellow to the red, because red and yellow make what color? Orange, that's right. So we're gonna mix orange and add a little bit of blue. Doesn't look brown yet. Have to keep going. Maybe we need a little bit of yellow. Kind of looks purple, doesn't it? All right. So let's go ahead and paint the canvas. It's kind of purple, but it does look brown, doesn't it? So go ahead and mix the colors to your liking. And we're just going to put this color down first, and then we're going to put down the green.
Why are there crows outside?
So I don't know if you know this, but Bob Ross has some free videos, and I'll link it on this YouTube video that you can watch. He is so fun to watch paint. And he's very calming. But he's really good at painting landscapes. Okay, now as you can see, my paint's really dry, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this to make it wet. Acrylic does dry really fast, yes. So add some yellow. Okay. So once we have this brown down, we can add the green to it. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add the sun color. I would even dip your paint in water and kind of smooth it out. There we go. Okay. All right. Now let's do the sun. And like I said, you can do whatever kind of color combination you want to do. And you'll have to excuse my children. So I'm going to do some yellow and orange. Okay, so I've mixed some yellow with a little bit of orange. And I'm going to just paint the sun behind it. I'm going to let this brown dry a little bit before I add green to it, okay?
Mommy, can I have a little bit of this?
Okay, so, all right. And then I'm just gonna color in Now, if you are like, ooh, that came out too red, you can add more yellow to it. So I think you'll start to notice that this paint goes really fast. So go ahead and add more yellow to it. Wipe your brush on the paper towel if you still have red on there. There. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be a solid color. Doesn't have to be perfect. There. The next color we're going to do is the sky. And with the sky, we're going to add white to the blue because just having a really dark blue sky would be too dark. So let's go ahead and add, oops. Okay. So go ahead and don't forget to wash your brush and keep your brush clean, okay? And wipe it on the paper towel. And let's get some white and blue on there. And I want you to paint around the rays. And it's okay if you mix them up a little bit because technically the sky, when you look at it rising or setting, it's not blue. There's a lot of reds, pinks, but I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. All right. So do your best to color around the rays and not on it, okay? All right. And if you find that your paint's drying out a lot, you can add water to your paintbrush and it'll help your paint to go farther. Okay. After this dries, you can also add clouds to it. Okay? And I'm sure I have a lot of artists in our class. You can make this really beautiful. Okay, now I think it's okay to add the green if you want to make your grass. Just make sure that your brush is clean. You don't want a dirty brush. So now we're just, and here's how you can do the grass, is short strokes. If you do short strokes, it kind of gives a texture to your drawing. And it almost looks real. So we can add some more green. And if this green is too dark for you, you can mix it with white and a little bit of blue, and it'll lighten up that green. So hopefully you're not, if you have the watercolor packet, hopefully you're not using the watercolor brush. You're using the acrylic brush. Because as you can see, doing this texture really doesn't help keep the shape of the brush, which is why we got you a brush that you can kind of have fun with and it'll be okay. Okay, so let's fill this up. It's a lot of canvas to fill up, isn't it? There we go. I think this green is too dark. So in my green, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to it. If you add a little bit of yellow to your green, it will brighten it up. Green, yellow, and white should help brighten up your green. Sure, you can hear my kids. Sorry about that. How many of you have siblings, and how many are realizing how hard and difficult it is to get along with your sibling? Knowing that you're seeing each other every day. My children homeschool and they're used to seeing each other every day, but they still argue a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to say this is done. I would want you to work on it as much as you can, and you can add beautiful flowers around there. Okay, so I decided I wanted to add some flowers. So you can use the edge of your brush. If you don't have a thin brush, that's fine. You can just make stems with the brush that you have. Okay. And then I'm going to add a dot of yellow. And I'm going to mix some colors. So red and blue make what? What do red and blue make? Looks like I need more red. Well, let's see. Red and blue make purple. hope you're having fun with this. And actually, does anyone know what the Easter flower is? It's the lily. There's an Easter lily. So we'll make some white flowers. Maybe even put don't forget, your flowers also have leaves. Okay. All right. So I am going to say I'm done with the canvas. I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to get my cross. And I'm running out of space here to mix. So I'm just going to fold this over. And what were the colors again that we can use to make brown? Orange and blue. But you don't have an orange, do you? So how do we make orange? Yellow. We add yellow to it. Okay, so get your brush. Wipe it if it's dirty. I didn't put enough yellow there, so I'm just gonna put more yellow. There we go, that looks more orange. Okay. I'm going to put this on the paint thing so that I don't end up painting the table. So this is the box that your paints were in. Right here, like that. You can just take that out and put your... Once I've mixed it to the color that I want, I'm going to start painting it. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a real cross? And I didn't know this, but I don't think you actually have to wait for this clay to dry to paint it. I would just paint it after you finish painting your landscape, which is really great because then you don't have to wait for it. Okay, so I painted the cross, and I would get glue and just glue the back of this and set your cross wherever you want to set it. Let me see if I can back this up a little bit for you. There we go. So now you have your finished Easter project. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and now you have something for Easter. You can gift it to someone or leave it in your room as a reminder, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter, and I hope you remember all the things that God has done for us and His love for us. And I'm sorry that there was so much background noise because of my children, but I'm sure it's fine. If you have any questions or you're struggling with this or it's difficult, please email me and I'll be sure to answer you back as quick as possible, okay? So have a good Friday and good Easter. See you guys next time. Bye.